Happy Friday, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. As we look at what's going on in the world today, we have Hurricane Helen that's really taking landfall, and it happened last night. And into this morning. As a matter of fact, Chicago, we've got some good 15-mile-per-hour winds that are coming and going, and it's probably going to get worse as we go forward. What I really want you to look at is rather, if you're in the storm right now, if you're being affected somehow by it, or if you've been in a tornado or just in a bad storm, or even something that's just going on in your personal life, just notice these are all creations. And in these creations, certain things happen inside of our brain. I'm Jim Becker, and I really want to start off by thanking all of you for taking the time to join me today. I know how busy things can get, especially with what's going on in the world and in your own life. So it means a lot that you're here with me to engage in this important conversation. Before I get started, I really want to encourage all of you to drop your thoughts and comments and questions into the chat at any point in time during this live stream. I'll be checking in throughout, and we'll also have time at the end to address some of your questions, concerns directly. This is an open space for all of us to connect around the world, learn, and grow together. So don't hesitate to share your ideas. The more engaged we are, the more enriching this experience will be for everyone. Now, today's topic is one that I believe is fundamental to anyone who wants to live a more intentional and fulfilling life, especially with certain things like hurricanes going on right now. And as Helen is Category 4 reached landfill, or the land mass, people are dealing with things. Listening to ourselves, embracing the familiar, the unfamiliar maybe, and of course the unknown. We live in a world where there is a constant noise that's going on. We look at social media, we look at our emails, we look at meetings, endless notifications, at least for me, and I'm sure for you too. All of these make it really, really easy to lose touch with what's happening within ourselves. To truly listen to ourselves, we must engage in three important dimensions of self-awareness: the familiar, the unfamiliar, and of course, the unknown. We'll explore how each of these aspects play a role in shaping who we are. I love saying who I are and who I am. So how we make these decisions ultimately is how you navigate life's complexities. So, as I've seen my own life navigating through the unknown, through the uncertain especially, and of course the known, I've been able to really find my true north and be able to share what I see in my own reflection, hoping that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm sure you can, because we all have this. What I have, you have. It's right there for you. So let's begin by breaking down the familiar. See, unfamiliar and unknown. We're going to do all three of them today. And as I look at the familiar, it's pretty easy. You're here right now, right? It refers to what we know. You know that there is a LinkedIn. You know that there is a Jim Becker. There is a known that you have a familiar, like what's going on right now. You have time. So the familiar refers to what we know, our core beliefs, our values, our routines. These are the things that ground us and help us feel secure. But as we are like confronting, as they are, life can be confronting. They can also limit us if we cling to them too tightly. The unfamiliar, well, it represents the things that are just outside our reach. These are the new experiences, the fresh perspectives, the ideas that challenge the way that we currently think. I get up every morning at 5 a.m. and I'm in the gym at like 5:30, 5:45, stretching, and I'm going through things that are challenging me. They're unfamiliar to me. And I want to complain and I want to cling on to certain things. And I say no. See, engaging with the unfamiliar can really be scary for most. I know it is for me. I get scared. But it's also where our growth happens. And finally, the unknown is the vast, uncharted territory. Maybe some of us are out at sea that we often can't even see. It's the part of that life, our life, that's filled with uncertainty and not knowing. And we have fear. See, the mysteries we can't quite grasp onto, and the idea of like really grasping on these aspects of our true selves. These all have yet to be discovered, and they're all there. See, by learning and listening to ourselves across all three of these dimensions, we can live more authentically, and definitely, maybe even better. Maybe making better decisions. I like to say that we ultimately grow into the best versions of ourselves today. And our version today is not the same as the version of us yesterday. And for some of us, it is. And that's okay. But before we delve into far on this subject, why is listening to ourselves even more important today than ever before? Our inner thoughts, our feelings. It's about truly tuning in to what's going on inside. This means recognizing our needs, our desires, our fears, and our motivations. It's about understanding what makes us tick and using that knowledge to navigate life with greater awareness and authenticity. When we listen to ourselves, we stay connected to the present moment, each moment by moment. We not just are moving forward or moving through life on autopilot, we're reacting to whatever comes our way. Instead, we're intentionally responding to the world around us. Yeah. See, as I stand here with you all on a live stream, it takes something. And I do come across things like noises outside, noises inside, and things happen. Think about how often we get caught up in the busyness of life. There's 168 hours in a week, and I've known this for 20-something years. Did you know that? There's 168 hours in a week? It gets busy. How are you feeling that? Working through your to-do list? Rushing from one task to another task? Onto the next? It's easy to get the months, even the years, just slipping away. It's Friday. We have one more day, business day, of September, and then we're on to October. I turned 55. Crazy things happen as we move forward. And it goes like this, and the beat goes on. It just slips by without really noticing. Really? Have you noticed? We miss the subtle signals of our bodies and our minds that they're giving us clues. They're giving us signals, maybe even smoke signals, that could really help us guide toward a healthier, happier life. And it's all based on our decisions and our choices. By doing a regular thing, by like tuning in and listening, we prevent that disconnection. We allow ourselves to be present for the moments that matter most, the moments that shape who we are. For example, how do we find ourselves feeling maybe stressed, overwhelmed, or just out of sorts without really understanding why? If we stop and listen, we might realize that our bodies are telling us we need to rest, we need to repose, or that our hearts are signaling a need for change. Without that pause to check in, we keep pushing forward until we hit a breaking point. And really, the truth is, it's not the person you're with, it's not that partner you have, it's not your children, it's not the career you have, the job you have, it's not the neighborhood you live in, it's you, it's me. See, listening to ourselves means checking in before we get there, making sure that there is space for reflection, and giving ourselves the chance to course correct before things go too far. See, now let's dive into the familiar. See, the familiar encompasses the parts of ourselves that we know best, we know well. It's our values. How are your values? What are your values? What's your number one value, your second, and your third? Do you know? Are you familiar? I also want to look at our beliefs. What are your beliefs? And the routines that shape our daily lives. See, this is what makes up the core of our identity. Listening to the familiar is essential because it really helps us. It helps me stay grounded. It reminds us of who we are, who I am, what we stand for, and what brings us joy for our lives, for our being. For example, maybe you're someone who thrives on spending time in nature. I know I do. You know, you know this about yourself. You enjoy time in nature. And so you make an effort to incorporate regular hikes or outdoor activities into your life. See, that's listening to the familiar. It's recognizing the patterns that consistently contribute to your well being and making choices that honor those patterns. I'll give you another one, like just last night. Thursdays are my date night for my wife and I. We've been doing these since 1999, 2000. And yesterday I had tickets. I planned this about a month ago to go to the Chicago Symphony. And in the Chicago Symphony, I really wanted to be there because I can really hear God. I can hear God in community and how all these different instruments are all playing, united, and they create one beautiful thing. Well, my 14-year-old freshman in a dance company at school, of course, and doing a halftime show at the soccer game, and she's unable to make it. Not a problem. Our youngest, Brooke, 11 years old, sixth grade. I ask her, bring a friend. She brings Mary. They're on cross country together. They play the flute in their band, and invite them. We go down to Chicago, Gibson's Italian, beautiful place, and we go down to the Chicago Symphony, and we listen to Tchaikovsky, and there's a special guest there too. And we've got like great seats and walking around. We go all the way up, looking around. See, that's being in life. That's creating life. That's putting something that is special as a stop to just really celebrate this life that we have. Something that we have right downtown Chicago. What do you have right down by you? Downtown Chicago is an hour and 45 minutes into the city. And it's about, I don't know, a half hour back with no traffic. See, the familiar also gives us a sense of stability in our often chaotic world. Last night was not chaotic. See, when life feels unpredictable, put some predictable in it. See, when it is unpredictable, we can return to that familiar for the comfort and the reassurance. Whether it's a favorite routine, like working out, running, date night, a long held belief that everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Or a close relationship or friend. I have a great friend coming over tonight. And then I have a great friend and his wife coming over tomorrow night for dinner. Like, this is beautiful. See, these are familiar aspects of our lives. They provide us with an anchor. However, there's a flip side to the familiar, and that's the danger of becoming too comfortable. See, comfort zones can be both a sanctuary and a limitation. They give us a sense of security, but we really rely on them way too much. We do. They can prevent us from growing. You know, when I talk about going to the Chicago Symphony, the last time I did that was with April Prince and her husband Joe. And it's been far too long. And the regular things that my wife and I do on date night, maybe that's just getting too comfortable, especially with the kids going back to school and all, and helping them with their homework. So look for yourself. Where are you getting too comfortable? For example, imagine, you've been in the same job for several years, same role. You're comfortable. You know the ins and outs, and it feels safe. But maybe deep, deep, deep down inside, you've been feeling restless. You know there's more you could actually do, more you could achieve. But the idea of stepping outside of that comfort zone, that familiar role, it feels scary, right? This is where listening to ourselves becomes the key. That's the key to freedom. We need to be able to recognize when our comfort zones are no longer serving us, when they've gone from being a source of stability to a form of self-limitation, self-imposed. See, by listening, we can start to push the edges of those zones, taking small steps towards growth while still honoring what's familiar. Now let's move. Let's move to the unfamiliar. And I love the unfamiliar. See, in the unfamiliar, this is where real growth actually happens. It's where we encounter new ideas, experiences, and perspectives of life that really challenge our current way of thinking. Now, if you're scared right here and the fear is overwhelming you right now and this is not familiar with you, just stop watching. Give you a second just to go to another channel. Well, that's good. You stayed because this is where it really gets exciting. This is the realm where we confront our fears. We push past our limits and discover the new dimensions of reality, the new dimensions of ourselves. But stepping into this unfamiliar isn't easy. It requires courage. And if we've been hurt in the past, if we've had failures in the past, if our bosses and our partners are telling us we're not really worth all that, this is where you're listening to something. Change channel. Listen to yourself. Stop listening to that past. See, when you're faced with something new, it's natural to feel discomfort or even this fear deep, deep inside me. See, our brains are wired to seek out what's familiar because it feels safe. The unfamiliar, on the other hand, it triggers our survival instincts, making us really want to retreat back to what we know. But there's something beautiful here. Yeah, here's the beautiful thing. Discomfort isn't always a bad thing. In fact, discomfort is often a signal that we're on the edge of something transformational. maybe even a transfiguration for ourselves. Yeah. And this is where my transformational leadership really kicks in. See, our growth never happens inside our comfort zones. It happens when we push ourselves to explore what's unfamiliar. When we realize it feels uncomfortable, maybe even uncertain. See, one of the most powerful tools we can use to navigate the unfamiliar is curiosity. When we approach new situations with a sense of curiosity rather than fear, we open ourselves up to learning and growing instead of just focusing in on what we don't know. We can focus on what we can really discover. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're always in a particular seat on the bus, the CTA maybe. Maybe you, at family, you're always sitting in the particular seat at the table. Now let's look at beliefs. When we have a certain set of beliefs that we rely on all the time, what are your particular set of beliefs about leadership, about work? Maybe you've always believed that leaders should be authoritative, decisive, and in control. But then, and but is a big but. Yeah. But yet, you get introduced to different leadership styles. One that's more collaborative, more focused on really empowering and lifting others. At first, this idea might even be foreign to you, even threatening. But if you approach it with curiosity, you might discover that there's gold right there. There's a lot of value in this unfamiliar perspective. You might even find that it resonates more with your values than the traditional model you've been following for so long. Another way to encourage someone, especially yourself, encourage yourself to engage with the unfamiliar. One way of doing this is actively seeking out new experiences, something that you've never done before. Like I'm eating vegetables, like 2 cups of vegetables 3 times a day. Like these things are pretty good. I never seeked out these new vegetables. Some that I've never even tried. Kale. I've tried kale. Interesting, right? Seek out these new experiences. This could be anything from trying a new hobby, learning a new skill, or even traveling to a place you've never been before. This morning, early in the morning, I washed the dishes. Whatever was in the sink, I washed. I don't do those normally. Each time you expose yourself to something unfamiliar, you expand, you unfold your understanding of yourself and the world around you. Let's pause here to really just talk about such a big part of navigating the unfamiliar. It's fear. See, fear is a natural response when we're faced with something new or unknown. It's our brain's way of protecting us from the potential danger, like a big brother or a parent would when we were 7 years old. But while fear might be useful in situations where our safety is at risk, it can also hold us back from the growth that we really want in our life. When we listen to ourselves, we become more aware. It gives us awareness. But awareness is just the first step. There's so much more. See, the next step is learning how to move through that fear without letting it control our decisions. Decisions is such a great word because it cuts off the old way of doing it and allows a new way to be, a new pathway. One approach is to overcome fear. Yeah. See, to overcome fear is to take small, incremental steps into the unfamiliar rather than diving in head first without any thought or plan or anything else. See, by gradually exposing ourselves to new experiences, we build resilience and confidence. It's like if the idea of public speaking terrifies you, start by speaking in front of a mirror or your loved ones in your car. Over time, as you gain confidence, you can work your way up to small groups and even larger audiences. I just came back from North Carolina speaking in front of a whole bunch of people on IT, security. See, the key is to keep pushing yourself just a little bit beyond your comfort zone each time. The unfamiliar is where life's richest opportunities for growth really lie. Don't lie to yourself. But to fully embrace it, we have to learn to face our fears head on and really trust that we're capable of handling whatever comes our way. If you have any comments, concerns, or anything, please put them in now as I kind of bring this to a wrap up. So finally, we reach the unknown, the vast, uncharted territory that really lies beyond the familiar and unfamiliar. The unknown is part of life that it can't be planned for. It can't be predicted. And it definitely can't be controlled. And we all find ourselves there. I'm there every day. It's a space where uncertainty reigns, and it's often the most challenging dimension to navigate. Embracing the unknown requires a deep sense of trust, not just in ourselves, but in the process of life itself. It's a world of service. It means accepting that not everything can be understood or controlled. And that's okay. One of the most effective ways to connect with the unknown is through cultivating your inner silence. We live in a world that's constantly bombarding us with information, noise, and distractions. In this environment, it can be difficult to really tune into a subtle aspect of our inner world. See, practices like meditation and mindfulness, or simply spending time in nature, can help us quiet the mental chatter and tap into a deeper wisdom. When one believes in God and whatever religion you are, or not, it's fine. We can embrace something. We can get into that deeper wisdom. We can have this thing called faith. When we embrace the unknown, we allow ourselves to let go of the need for certainty. We become more comfortable with ambiguity, and in doing so, we open ourselves up to life's mysteries. Often, it's the unknown that we experience the most profound moments of growth, serendipity, and transformation. Think back to a time in your life, when something unexpected happened. Maybe a crucible. Maybe it was just a sudden career opportunity, an awakening, on a relationship, something unexpected happened in it, or a personnel change. See, these moments often come from the unknown. And while they are initially really disorientating, they often are the catalyst for the most significant changes in our lives. See, by trusting the unknown, we learn to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and openness. We recognize that while we may not always have control, we do have the power to choose how we respond to the unfolding events of our own life. Yeah. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's discussion. If it's now live or if it's afterwards, let's take a moment to really check the comments and see what questions or reflections that each of you have. Looking down at the comments, I'm seeing you guys are really engaged in this. Yeah. See, we've covered a lot. And this content that we covered, it's a lot of ground to cover. And it's a topic that most people don't talk about. For the familiar to the unfamiliar, and definitely the unknown. See, each of these dimensions is essential for living a balanced, authentic life. See, the familiar gives us stability and grounding. The unfamiliar challenges us to grow. And the unknown really just invites us to trust in life's greater mysteries. As always, if you found today's conversation valuable, make sure to like, follow, and share this live stream. Spread the word to others who might benefit from these insights, and let's keep building this community of growth and reflection. I want to thank you for being here today. I know you all have a wonderful life and a great week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend as well. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care and stay curious.